when the business scaled from about 300K to 8 million online, the big vehicle that sort of helped make that happen was video.
And with Bryan Alston, who is the co-founder of Brand Castle Growth Partners. Bryan's been working with Pictory and has a lot of experience in video marketing. So we're going to share some video marketing tips for 2024. Welcome, Bryan. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and the company.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Bryan. Have been in the digital marketing and e-commerce space for almost 15 years. Like most of that time was spent as a consultant. It's like helping to launch and scale e-commerce startups, including brands like Magic Spoon, Our Place, and a bunch of other ones that I got to work with from pre-launch to their first 12 months in business. And most recently was the chief marketing officer for this company called Greater Than, which I'm sure we'll talk a lot about in the video marketing piece. But essentially it was a company that was a sports drink that was aimed at men that we pivoted to become the first hydration drink for breastfeeding moms. And a lot of the content that powered that pivot online was all video, a mix of UGC as well as branded video. And I think that this happened a few years ago with things like Pictory and a lot of these cool new AI tools. There's so much more scalability that can come for brands of any size. And I'm more than happy to, just help share some of those tips and tricks that have worked either in those prior roles or with my current clients at Brand Castle.
Okay, well, let's pick and choose tips where appropriate for the different sectors. Just to unpack some of the, was it TLRs or TLAs, three-letter acronyms in there? You mentioned UGC. Please tell everybody what UGC means.
Yeah, sure. So that's user-generated content. So that's, it could be an iPhone photo that your customer sent you in a thank you email. It could be things that you're posted or you're tagged on social media. It could be pictures that you just take yourself, in your own home and kitchen with like your phone. But essentially it's more raw and authentic type of content, like the stuff you would see on TikTok.
Right. So this is not stuff that you need to hire expensive agencies to produce. And if anything, part of the charm is the fact that it's raw and it's real.
100%. And just to build up on what you just said, we've all seen how TikTok has taken over the world and how increasingly as time goes on, the more polished a lot of content and ads are, especially for smaller, medium-sized businesses, the more skeptical the general public is. So in general, like UGC has been highly prized and coveted, because it does convert better. I think that this new era of AI tools can help you take all of this UGC and actually turn it into like usable content for social media, for your website, et cetera, et cetera. So instead of seeing AI as like, hey, we're going to replace the need for any UGC, I think it's a way to organize UGC and turn it into something that's actually like going to help you convert new customers.
Right. So anybody that's watching this video who has a smartphone, and I'm presuming it's most people, in fact, most people are probably watching it on a smartphone, has everything in their pocket right now to start making user-generated content and therefore effective video promotion. Is that a reasonable summary?
100%. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's dig into the detail a little bit as to how you would go about that. But first of all, what benefits did you see when you started to use these type of videos within previous roles and the current one that you're in now?
They're pretty massive. Like one thing to point out is it totally depends on the specific customer base you're going after. So for example, if you, let's say, are a law firm, perhaps your content might need to be a bit more polished than if you're trying to sell, let's say a protein bar to people that are outdoor enthusiasts. So it all depends on like the unique customer base you're going after. But what I've noticed as time has gone on is, again, regardless of the industry, UGC is either performed as well as polished content or much better in many cases. And for the case of Greater Than, the breastfeeding drink company, it was pretty much 95% of all of our advertising content. It was either, it's like photos that we either took ourselves with our smartphones, in our own kitchens, or it was content that we solicited from our customers via email or social media. But instead of it just being like, hey, here's like a raw photo, what I think a tool like Pictory could have helped do, back then is say that we have hundreds of pieces of UGC content, and I want to splice those together into a really, really compelling 15-second ad. You can do that, with like Final Cut or with iMovie or whatever it is, but it takes time. A lot of marketers, especially in like small and medium-sized businesses, don't have a huge team of people. So having a tool like Pictory to help make all of that content at scale is critical. And the other big piece is you can make a ton of versions of the same content. And I'm sure one of the things we'll talk about is, how you can use this content on social media. And I think that being able to make 10, 15, 20 versions of the same like general video, but have a slightly different opening or a different, typeface for the subtitles or whatever it is, will really help you capture the data on, exactly what is going to convert best for your audience.
I think one thing that you've said really resonates with me and all the experiences I've had is that when you're doing marketing, people want to recognize themselves in the asset that's being produced. So if people tune in and they see people that they identify with, or they see messages which they identify with, it's far more likely to convert than if they see a polished Hollywood performance that feels a million miles away from them. And people get hung up by spending money on polish when actually what they really need is to spend money on producing useful and relatable content. So I definitely agree with that. That's a pivot as well. So how did you go about making that pivot through those completely different genres?
Yeah, sure. So like I mentioned, the company started as a sports drink. And the very first thing I did when I sort of looked in their data was to see like, okay, yes, it's been a sports drink historically, but is there something else that this drink could be? And this exercise would work regardless of the product, where you sort of zoom out to a 30,000 foot level and look at like, okay, but what is this actually doing? Is it a sports drink, or is it really a hydration drink that has less sugar but more electrolytes than your average Gatorade? And if it's the latter, who are all of the other cohorts that could benefit from that? Who are cohorts that have a higher than average need for hydration, but also have a higher, sensitivity to sugar, carbs, chemicals, additives, etc. So I sort of mapped that out, and then the hypothesis was that it would be soccer moms, essentially. So it would be parents of athletic children who would need this sports drink, and then they could drink it themselves as their own rehydration vehicle. And that's really sort of the initial test that we ran that started to get some pretty decent results. And what we found after a few months of running these tests is we began to organically get this cult following from breastfeeding moms who would comment on our ads and tag 10 of their friends who are all breastfeeding or pregnant, saying that when they would drink this sports drink, this electrolyte drink essentially, that they were using almost like a Pedialyte, it would alleviate a lot of issues that happen postpartum from dehydration, like headaches, cramps, low milk supply, fatigue, etc. And they were already drinking other sports drinks, but because Greater Than had a far higher electrolyte count and no added sugar or chemicals and was organic, that was really what they cherished. And over the following few years, when the business scaled from about 300K to 8 million online, the big vehicle that sort of helped make that happen was video, specifically on social media, which is why I think that, again, a product like Pictory is critical for brands who don't have a massive budget for these commercials or a ton of money to pay influencers, to be able to take the content they do have and turn it into hundreds of pieces of content. Because at the end of the day, going viral on social media is really a numbers game. And I'm sure we've all seen TikToks where you don't really understand why it got 20 million views. I'm like, I don't get it. But chances are the person who created that had no idea that that was going to be the one.
Right.
They might have had to have dozens or hundreds of videos before there was the one that really took off. And I think that the point that you brought up, which a lot of brands need to think about, is instead of putting all of your budget behind really high polished creative that must work in order for you to get a high ROI, when in reality, it probably won't. Because again, social media trends can change sometimes on a daily basis. You can have a video that checks every single box and every single best practice, and it will only get 40 views, versus a video that you might shoot with your iPhone that doesn't look super polished, and that will be the one that takes off. That's exactly what happened with Greater Than and with a bunch of the other brands I've worked with. So instead of sort of trying to predict the future, why not, use a tool like Pictory to mix user-generated content, perhaps like some of the branded assets that you do have, as well as stock video, to make a bunch of different ads that you can run on any platform, and then let that sort of dictate, hey, perhaps there is a new niche that we didn't know about. Hey, perhaps there is another way to capture attention. Or even if it's on the website, perhaps this is the video that you should have on your blog pages or on your product pages. So there's a lot of different avenues that we can go down. But I would say that like video is really something that people have said is coming. But now in this era, especially with all this AI generated written content clouding up our feeds, I think video is really the place to focus.
Definitely. So again, to summarize some of the points you've made, and just want to add to a couple of them as well. How would you say, rather than spending $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on a piece of market research to see what the market research company thinks may work, spend a fraction of that on just producing lots and lots of content and putting it out there and letting the market decide. So rather than going for quality, necessarily go for lots of quantity and then do more of what works. And to speak to your point about some of it working, some of it not, there is like a heuristic that we use across marketing, across YouTube channels, across music publishing. Basically, half of the value will be derived from the square root of the number of pieces of content that you make. So it's a little bit like the 80-20 rule, although it's even more savage than that, in that, you've got to produce, 100 pieces of content to just get the one maybe that really flies, and, the 10 or so that do reasonably well. So, just keep making lots and lots of content.
Yeah. And then the thing to, I guess, tie this together with the polished content, just like going into an example with Our Place. So when we launched them, we did a mix of sort of branded content in UGC, but the UGC is really what unlocked the polished content and what it should be. We basically just used Canva at the time just to make a bunch of sort of like ads to test messaging and test the order of how we should be telling the story and communicating the value props of the product. And then to your point, we put that out there and we saw what the reaction was from the actual public versus it being a ton of market research. And then when we found that, hey, this ad in this exact format and this storytelling and this length, this is the one, then they were able to take that to an actual production house to make a polished commercial version of that. And that ended up being the ad that sort of shot them to the moon. So it's not like you have to choose one or the other, but I think that you can do a lot of market research with a video on social media and get some really, really compelling answers to questions about what value props people actually care about. Like, what are people going to actually purchase from? Versus if you're doing a survey, people say a lot of things, but when it comes to taking out their credit card, that might be a totally different story. So yeah, I think that you can use some of these videos to lead to the polished content that you might need to scale your brand.
Yeah, so initially be prolific as opposed to go for perfection. And we always used to say when we're running pay-per-click ad campaigns to start with, you can't actually fail because you either get sales results or you get data, and which will lead to sales results. But there's no point in polishing something that you think is going to work when contact with the market says that it doesn't. And you can fail very quickly and try something new if you've got a way of producing videos quickly, cheaply, and easily. Pictory does that. So let's get into the weeds a little bit, because I'm sure that people who are watching say, okay, look, I've got a brand, I've got a product. I know a bit about social media. Maybe I've got a TikTok account. Maybe I've got YouTube, Facebook. Where do I start? What's the first thing that I would do? What's the first thing that you would do?
Yeah. So like just pick a product, for example, like a product or a type of business.
Okay, let's try. Let's say a teaching business. I'm producing online courses.
Okay. So I think that one of the first things that I would do is one, just like with, the greater than example, like map out who your avatar is. So like if you're saying like, I'm doing online courses, okay, like who are the people that you want to teach? Like what are the other types of ways that they're currently getting their content? Are there specific YouTube channels or Quora forums or like subreddit groups or whatever it is where you can do some of that market research? You can see like, are there frequently asked questions that these people are asking? Is there a certain type of language that this cohort that you're going after, your students, tend to use, et cetera? So that way, again, you can sort of have a general idea of the type of content you're going to need to either produce or feed into a tool like Pictory. And then from there, you can use something like ChatGPT just to help brainstorm, okay, I need to produce a 30-second clip that articulates to my audience, to the potential students that I have for my course or for my class, who I am, like what it is that I can teach them better than what they're seeing elsewhere. So if you are a PhD in some topic, they shouldn't be going on Reddit asking total strangers. If you have some clear expertise, how do you articulate that in a way that can get the point across in 5 seconds? So again, it's sort of thinking about, both the value that you provide, the demand from the public, as well as your unique point of difference. And then ChatGPT, is super helpful at just sort of taking all of those inputs and putting together a simple script that's a good starting point. And then from there, you can use a tool like Pictory that has, script to video, where you can just put in that script and then just watch it work its magic. It'll produce a video that can be a good starting point. And then what you can do is if you have some edits, you can just type them in and it'll make the edits. If you want to mix and match the content that Pictory puts together, so the stock videos and stock photos and all of that, with your actual content, perhaps stuff that you've already shot in the past or samples of your past coursework or whatever it is, you can mix and match those. Versus in the old days where you would have had to do a full storyboard, then you have to actually go out and find all of the individual pieces of content. You have to put them together. Chances are you might have 15 edits. So it just takes so much time to do with what Pictory can do in just a few minutes.
I really like this idea of answering questions. And I've seen a number of clients, and in fact, myself in previous lives have had some success with this, is that if you just type into Google a few of the keywords that represent the niche that you're in, it will suggest questions that people are asking. And literally all you have to do is make a video which answers the questions which come up as the things that people are asking, because by definition, doing that, it sets you up as the expert. And with Pictory, you can do one or two of those a day even. Just answer the questions that your avatar, and by the way, I should mention what an avatar is. It's not a movie. An avatar is a representation of the person that you see as your ideal client. So that's a great tip. So make videos which answer questions that your avatar would be asking, and find those questions using tools such as Google. There are paid tools, but honestly, I've just found typing into the Google search bar and looking at the suggestions is a great source of inspiration.
100%. And I'm sure, like, I'm not sure about you, but like for me, when I'm searching for something, I always add Reddit to the end, because what I really want is, okay, so what is an actual person saying about this query that I have? If I'm searching for best sushi restaurant in this city, or like whatever it is, if I'm searching for how to use text to video tools, I want to see what, comes up on Google, and I also want to see what other people are saying. So yeah, I feel like there's so many ways to, again, use free tools just to know what questions you need to answer as the expert. And that from there, once you are able to make the videos and you're able to get something that perhaps it's like a B plus, you're like, hey, it's not perfect, it's not exactly what I want, but it's good enough to get out into the wild, like whether it's on your own social media, whether it's in a newsletter that you have, or like whatever your sort of vehicle is to get to your avatar. I think that's when you start to put things into the wild. And I think that's really one of the main values of Pictory, because again, you can make a ton of content with that same starter script or that same sort of foundational video, and then you can tweak it. And I would say that if there is a place to do the most testing, it would be in the first 3 to 5 seconds of the video. I've had ads that have done very well that are 4 minutes long. You know, we've even had some ads, you know, that run in Facebook retargeting that are over 10 minutes long. But what really, really matters is those first few seconds. And the reason I say that is because over the past few years, there's been all of this chatter in the industry about, you know, the Apple privacy changes and how it's ruined Facebook ads and how, you know, it's impossible to advertise, which is not actually true. And if anything, I think that it ended up being a net positive to the marketing industry. And here's why. I think that for the past decade, a lot of businesses have been able to not do what we just talked about. Think about who their person is that they actually want to bring into their business. Instead, it was focused on the platforms. How do we just hack, you know, the Facebook algorithm, and how do we do this? And they were able to outsource the finding of their avatars to platforms like Facebook. Now that that's no longer the case, we're in an era where you have to have more of that understanding of the people and like what their actual desires are and all of that. And specifically when it comes to social media, you have to have video content or content period that only appeals to them. Because if you think about it, in the past decade, you didn't really have to. You could just put something up and Facebook's algorithm would find the people. It would do the matchmaking for you. Now that that's no longer the case, and now that your targeting is a lot broader than it used to be, the creative itself has to be the thing that gets the attention of your target customer. So for example, just going back to greater than, we only use broad targeting. We didn't have like some special targeting or anything that was like, oh, we're only going to go after breastfeeding moms based off of all of these filters. Instead, we just kept it intentionally broad in order to get the lowest CPMs, and had content where in the first 2 seconds would only appeal to someone who's nursing. So we had to do a ton of testing over the course of months and years to figure out like what are some of those triggers, the visual triggers, that if you are someone who's not nursing or pregnant, you would just scroll right past it. But if you're someone who is, then you'll be like, oh, wow, that's me, just like you're saying.
Yeah.
I want to know more about this because this is something that clearly is targeted towards me. And then what ends up happening is when you get more and more of those people who are triggered by that intro, then the algorithm is going to learn to find people similar to them. So again, that's why I think video is not only very powerful, but can actually help you achieve what it is that people eventually want, which is to acquire more customers, to grow their brand. And using tools like Pictory to, at scale, test dozens or even hundreds of intros. And then eventually, once you have that formula down, what's the next 5 to 10 seconds? What's the next, like the appropriate end of the clip? And then eventually you're able to get a really, really good formula down for, hey, here are the different types of storytelling templates that I can use, and I'll just plug in different user-generated content or a different SKU or a different course. And then from there, that's how you can answer some of those questions.
Just a couple of points of clarification there again for people that may not be experts in this. That the CPM is basically how much you pay for somebody to click on your advert, and if it's a good advert, then you'll get nice low CPM costs and lots of return on investment through it. So what I think we're saying here is we've got to open with a strong hook that gets the attention and retains the attention of the avatar that we're targeting. And that hook can be visual in terms of imagery, and Pictory is brilliant for that. I mean, we've got a huge stock library, but again, you can also upload your own pictures and your own videos to use that, and a strong value proposition in terms of an opening script. So you want to open with something that both in terms of the script and the visuals grabs them and holds on to them long enough for you to then start demonstrating the value of your product, and also get rid of people who are not going to watch it, because getting rid of the people is also as valuable. Getting rid of the people you don't want is as valuable as holding on to the people that you do. Otherwise, you'll just be wasting money.
100%.
Yeah. So this is why I think marketing in many ways is a science, but it's also an art, isn't it?
Yes. And I think that in this new era, we're finally back to where you can do both. And again, like what we've been talking about here is like, it's a perfect mix of art and science. There's still the qualitative understanding of your customer and the person that you're trying to go after, and the types of storytelling that appeals to them, both visual and in text. But then there's also using these really cutting edge tools like Pictory and ChatGPT and a bunch of these other methods to do what used to take hours or days in minutes. Mm-hmm. And I think that that is really sort of a really good, and I can't predict the future, but I would say that that's what I'm most optimistic about in this new era, where instead of the past decade where the art piece has sort of been thrown to the wayside, I think now we're in a place where, again, we're going back to both being used together in order to just make marketing more effective.
And the key thing with Pictory is that you can now do quickly and cheaply what most people wouldn't have had the budget to even attempt in the past. So this is really very, very interesting stuff. If people have not started using Pictory to do video marketing, what's the first sort of type of campaign that you would suggest that they run? What platform would they run it on? What would they do when they've got this amazing video that they've made with Pictory?
That just goes back to their avatar. Like for me, I always like to, again, once you find the person, think about where are those people clustered already? Because what you don't want to do is say that you have an avatar who is on LinkedIn, but you're spending all of your budget and all of your effort trying to go viral on TikTok. But if your people aren't there, then it doesn't really matter if you've hacked that platform. So again, that's why it goes back to the person. Who are the people that you need to bring in? Where on the internet are they clustered already? Are they on Twitter or X? Are they, on like Reddit? Are they on Pinterest? Are they on other platforms that perhaps are smaller, or small little like subreddits or whatever it is? And then from there, that's when you have to sort of figure out like, okay, like what is the type of language that works for that? In terms of the types of video content, like what do they tend to watch and share? And then you can sort of use that research to figure out, okay, how do I make something similar that's going to almost be reverse engineered to not only speak to them, but also stand out from the crowd? I think one place that is often overlooked for video, and I hope this changes, is on the website. I know that there's a lot of people like both on their own sites, but also on Amazon listings, on Etsy listings, where if you have a video, below the fold that can tell the story that a few paragraphs can tell, more and more people are starting to watch those videos. And there's so many websites I've seen that just have TikToks right on their product page. But I think that with Pictory, you can make your own. Mm-hmm. It's like intros, you can make your own interactive FAQs. You can do all sorts of stuff to, again, help use video to tell the story that's required to get them to convert and purchase. And then, for blog posts, I know Google over the past year has been experimenting with rewarding certain sites who have video content in their blogs, because they know, of all people, especially since YouTube is the second biggest search engine, the power that video has, and how we are moving away from being more text-based towards a more video-based society. And I think that having videos on your blogs and in your blog section can really, really help turbocharge your SEO. Now, again, SEO rules change all the time, but I would say that that's definitely something that would be an easy place to start. Because again, you have all of the content already written. You already have your script. And with Pictory's blog to video tool, you can just plop that blog in and then get a video version of your blog that you can feature alongside the text. So that way you're giving people the option to either read or to watch the same content. And like we said, with Google and Bing and some of these other platforms, like they are starting to reward blog posts that have video content featured on the page.
We are seeing within Pictory considerable uptake and uplift rather in the conversion rates from people that are landing on blog pages which have a video summary version of what's on the blog in text form compared to the ones that don't. And I say with the built-in article to video function within Pictory, if you're going to produce a blog post, the extra work and time required to make a video version of that blog post is negligible. You may as well do it and embed it in the blog and give yourself a competitive advantage. So, if you've got a blog and you haven't got videos on there, then you're certainly leaving money on the table would be the message. Well, this is great. We've got a lot of stuff and we covered a lot of ground. Is there anything else that you'd like to share that's worked really well for you that you think that people who haven't necessarily got a huge budget but do have a Pictory account should try?
I've always been partial to Reddit as an advertising vehicle, mostly to test things because it is very cheap. There's not that many advertisers on Reddit. And like I mentioned earlier, like the general public sees Reddit as a place of immense credibility. They go there to get suggestions for new shows to watch, new products to buy, whatever it is, from actual people. And I've seen that when you advertise on Reddit, it tends to do well in a very specific way, which is to help answer questions that can be scaled on other platforms. So for example, say that I have a business and I have 8 different value props, or like value propositions, meaning like, hey, here are the sort of main things about the product that should stand out to the customer or appeal to the avatar. I don't really know which ones are most important or the order of them. There are a few things that you can do. You can either survey your existing customers and test those. But what I found is that usually when you survey people, their responses are usually different than the reality. Yeah. They might say like, oh, I really like this, but the things that actually get them to click on an ad or purchase might be different. Mm-hmm. So I don't usually rely as heavily on surveys. I would much rather take $50 to $100, have the exact same ad for the most part, but tweak it so that way either the intro slides are different or the value props that are being presented are different or the text is different. Clearly label those and just put them out in the wild, aimed at the subreddits that the avatar that I'm trying to target frequent. There's usually a handful of those on Reddit. And then from there, you can just see within a few days, okay, like which value props naturally get the most clicks or get the best CPMs or whatever it is. And while that might not lead to immediate purchases, because like Reddit is more of a top of funnel like awareness platform, it's not a place where people are gonna just like TikTok see something and impulsively buy it. It will help you answer those questions. Mm-hmm. So what I've always used Reddit for is to test a bunch of different video and text content, and then using those insights, that would help dictate what is being pushed on TikTok or Pinterest or Instagram or whatever the platform is. So yeah, I would say that that's like a kind of a cheaper way to do some of that market research. And video content is the perfect way to do that.
So that's really cool. You use Reddit as a low-cost experimental platform, find out what works, and then put some money behind it once you know you're going to get a positive ROI on the other bigger platforms. Yeah,
100%. Really cool. Because with Facebook, I think it's just too expensive to take those risks unless you have a huge budget to work with. Because like I mentioned, it is a numbers game.
Hmm.
There are ads that, I've had that worked last month and then they don't work now because for whatever reason, I think people focus too much internally. They're like, okay, well, this ad, it's exactly like what worked in the past. So it's all of that. But again, they don't think about the person and how what they're seeing on their news feed is always changing as well.
Yeah.
And the types of things that are trendy to them change over time. So just because you have an ad that may have been a blockbuster 6 months ago doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be the same now. So again, I think that's why you need a tool like Pictory to be nimble and to consistently test these things and to just always be a step ahead. And the other thing, again, to point out is the importance of mixing sort of the personal touch creative with a tool like Pictory's like stock videos. Because I mean, I'm sure we've all seen those YouTube videos or channels where it's clear that every single thing that they put in is made by AI. The script sounds like it wasn't edited. The voices they chose don't sound as realistic as the ones that Pictory allows you to use. And in general, it just feels like a robot made this video versus the best videos that you probably have seen on YouTube, which has a mix. Sure, they have some stock footage to sort of visually show you what the person's talking about, but they probably also have some branded content in there, or they might have some testimonials from real people or whatever it is. So I feel like that's the best way to use Pictory, which is to see it as an extremely powerful and helpful staff that could help you make a ton of videos and help you do all of this. But it's ultimately going to be you as the person behind your business who's going to have to edit, or not edit, was to curate the video and make sure that it's not only telling your story, but it's also going to appeal to the target customer you're trying to go after.
Well, I think those are amazingly valuable tips. There are lots of things which we could have gone into a lot more detail on, and maybe we'll do another session. I'm particularly interested in visual hooks for the videos and how to write a script to hook people. Maybe that's a thing for another time, but for the time being, Bryan, I'd like to say thank you very much for making time, and I'm sure people will get an amazing amount of value from this. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.